Hello, welcome back. Day 110 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading from the book of Numbers chapter 4, 1 Kings chapter 16, Psalms 110, Proverbs 20, and from the book of Acts chapter 6. Begin the Scriptures, 2009 version. Numbers chapter 4 is on page 142. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, Take a census of the sons of Kehath from among the children of Levi, by their clans, by their father's house, from 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, all who enter the service to do the work in the tent of appointment. This is the service of the sons of Kehath in the tent of appointments, the most set apart matters. At the breaking of camp, Aaron and his sons shall come, and they shall take down the covering veil, and cover the ark of the witness with it, and shall put on it a covering of fine leather, and spread over it shall spread over that an all blue wrapper, and shall insert its poles. And on the tables of showbread they shall spread a blue wrapper, and shall put on it its dishes, and the ladles, and the bowls, and the jars for pouring, and the showbread on it. And they shall spread over them a scarlet wrapper, and cover the same with a covering of fine leather, and shall insert its poles, and shall take a blue wrapper, and cover the lampstand of the light with its lamps, and its snuffers, and its trays, and all the oil vessels by which they serve. And they shall put it with all utensils in a covering of fine leather, and put it on a bar. And over the golden slaughter place they shall spread a blue wrapper, and cover it with the covering of fine leather, and shall insert its poles, and shall take all the utensils of service with which they serve in the set apart place, and shall put them in a blue wrapper, and cover them with a covering of fine leather, and put them on a bar. And they shall remove the ashes from the slaughter place, and spread a purple wrapper over it, and shall put on it all the utensils by which they serve there, the fire holders, the forks, the shovels, and the basins. All the utensils of the slaughter place shall spread on it a fine leather covering, and insert its poles. And when Aaron and his sons have finished covering the set apart objects, and all the furnishings of the set apart at breaking of camp, then the sons of Kehath shall come and lift them up, but let them not touch that which is set apart, lest they die. These matters are the burden of the sons of Kehath in the tent of appointment. And the oversight of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, is the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily grain offering, and the anointing oil, and the oversight of the dwelling place and all that is in it, with the set apart place and its furnishings. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, Do not cut off the tribe of the clans of the Kehathites from among the Levites, but do this to them, and they shall live and not die when they approach the most set apart objects. Aaron and his sons shall go in and anoint each of them to his service and his burden. They are not, however, to go in to watch while the set apart objects are being covered, lest they die. Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Take a census also of the sons of Gershon by their father's house, by their clans. Register them from 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, all who enter to perform the service, to do the service in the tent of appointment. This is the service of the clans of Gershonites, in serving and in bearing burdens. And they shall bear the curtains of the dwelling place, and the tent of appointment with its covering, the covering of fine leather that is on it, the covering for the door of the tent of appointment, and the screens on the courtyard, and the covering for the door of the gate of the courtyard which is around the dwelling place, and slaughter place, and their cords, all the equipment for their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the mouth of Aaron and his sons is all the service, so the sons of the Gershonites, all their burden and all their service, and you shall appoint to them all the duty of all their burden. This is the service for the clans of the sons of Gershon in the tent of appointment, and let their duties be under the hand of Ishmar, son of Aaron, the priest. As for the sons of Merari, register them by their clans and their father's house. Register them from 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, all who entered the service to do the work of the tent of appointment. And this is the duty of their burden, according to all of their service for the tent of appointment: the boards of the dwelling place, and its bars, and its columns and its sockets, and the columns around the courtyard with their sockets and their pegs, and their cords with all their equipment, and all their service they assign to each by name the equipment of the duty of their burden. This is the service of the clans of the Mennonite, as all their service for the tent of appointment under the hand of Ishmar, son of Aaron the priest. So Moshe and Aaron and the leaders of the congregation registered the sons of the Kenites by their clans and by their father's house, from 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, all who entered the service for work in the tent of appointment. And their registered ones by their clans were 2,750. These were registered ones of the clans of the Kenites, all serving the tent of appointment, whom Moshe and Aaron registered according to the mouth of Yahweh by the hand of Moshe. And those registered ones of the sons of Gershon by their clans, by their father's house, from 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, who entered the service for the tent of appointment. The registered ones by their clans, by their father's house, were 2,630. These were the registered ones of the clans of the number of the sons of Gershon, of all who serve in the tent of appointment, whom Moshe and Aaron registered according to the mouth of Yahweh. And those are the clans of the sons of Merari, who were registered by their clans, by their father's house, from 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, all who entered the service for work in the tent of appointment. The registered ones by their clans were 3,200. These were the registered ones of the clans of the sons of Merari, whom Moshe and Aaron registered according to the mouth of Yahweh by the hand of Moshe. And all the registered ones of the Levites, whom Moshe and Aaron and the leaders of Israel registered by their clan and by their father's house, from 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, all who came to do work of service and the work of bearing burdens of the tent. Their registered ones were 8,580. According to the mouth of Yahweh, they were registered by the hand of Moshe, each according to his service, according to his burdens. Thus were they registered by him as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Moving on to 1 Kings chapter 16 on page 370. Then the word of Yahweh came to Jehu, son of Hanani, against Baasha, saying, Because I raised you up out of the dust and made you ruler over my people, Israel, but you walked in the way of Joram, and made my people Israel sin to provoke me with their sins. See, I am going to sweep away Baasha and his house, and shall make your house like the house of Joram, the son of Nebat. Anyone belonging to Baasha who dies in the city, the dogs eat, and anyone belonging to him who dies in the field, the birds of the heavens shall eat. And the rest of the acts of Baasha, what he did, and his might, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel? So Baasha slept with his fathers and was buried in Tishar, and his son Elah reigned in his place. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came by the prophet Jehu, son of Hanani, against Baasha and his house, because of all the evil that he did in the eyes of Yahweh, and provoking him with the work of his hands, and being like the house of Joram, and because he had struck them. In the 26th year over Asa, sovereign of Judah, Eli, son of Baasha, began to reign over Israel in Tishar 2 years. And his servant Neri, commander of half of his chariots, conspired against him as he was in Teresh, drinking himself drunk in the house of Arsta, who was over his house in Titash. Then Zimri came in, struck him, and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, sovereign of Judah, and reigned in his place. And it came to be when he reigned, as soon as he was seated on the throne, that he struck all the household of Baasha. He did not leave him one male, neither one of his redeemers, nor of his friends. So Zimri destroyed the entire house of Baasha, according to the word of Yahweh, and he spoke against Baasha by Jehu the prophet. All the sons of Baasha, and the sins of Elah his son, by which they have sinned, and by which they have made Israel sin, in provoking Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, with their worthlessness. And the rest of the acts of Elah, and all that he did, are not they written in the book of annals of the sovereigns of Israel? In the 27th year of Asa, sovereign over Judah, Zimri reigned 7 days in Tirsah, and the people were encamped against Gibeath, which belonged to the Philistines. And the people who were encamped heard it said, Zimri has conspired and also struck the sovereign. So all Israel set up Omri, the commander of the army, to reign over Israel the day in the camp. And Omri went up, and all Israel went with him from Gibeath, and they besieged Tarash. And it came to be, when Zimri saw that the city was captured, that he went into a high place of the sovereign's house, and burned the sovereign's house down upon himself with fire, and died, because of the sins which he had sinned in doing evil in the eyes of Yahweh, and walking in the way of Joram, and his sin which he had committed to make Israel sin. And the rest of the acts of Zimri and the conspiracy he made are not written in the book of that. Are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel? Then the people of Israel were divided into 2 parts. Half of the people followed Tibni, son of Ginath, to make him reign, and the other half followed Omri. But the people who followed Omri were stronger than the people who followed Timaeus, son of Ginath. And Tibni died, and Omri reigned in the 31st year of Asa, sovereign of Judah. Omri became sovereign over Israel and reigned 12 years. He reigned 6 years in Tarash, and he bought the hill of Samarim for Shemir for 2 talents of silver, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city in which he built Shamar, after the name Shemer, owner of the hill. And Omri did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, and did evil more than all those before him. And he walked in all the ways of Arum, son of Nebath, and in his sin by which he made Israel sin, provoking Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, with all their worthlessness. And the rest of the acts of Omri which he did, and the might which that he attained, are not they written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel? And Omri slept with his fathers, and was buried in Shamar. And Ahab his son reigned in his place. In the 38th year of Asa, sovereign of Judah, Ahab son of Omri became sovereign over Israel, and Ahab son of Omri reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And Ahab son of Omri did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, more than all those before him. And it came to be as though it had been a light matter for him to walk in the sins of Yarum, son of Nebath, that he took as wife Isabel, the daughter of Ethbal, sovereign of the Sidonites. And he went and served Baal, and bowed himself to it, and raised up a slaughter place for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Shemaron. And Abib made of an Asher. And Arim did more to provoke Yahweh Elohim of Israel than all the sovereigns of Israel before him. In his days Heli of Bethel built Jericho. He laid its foundation at the cost of Abram, his firstborn, and at the cost of his youngest son Segurim. But he set up its gates according to the word of Yahweh, which he had spoken through Joshua, son of Nun. Moving on to Psalms 110 on page 711. Yahweh said to my master, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Yahweh sends your mighty scepter out of Zion. Rule in the midst of your enemies. Your people volunteer in the day of your might, in the splendors of set apartness. From the womb, from the morning, you have dew of your youth. Yahweh has sworn and does not relent. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Hezekiah. Yahweh at your right hand shall smite sovereigns in the day of his wrath. He judges among the nations. He shall fill the nations with dead bodies. He shall crush the head over the mighty earth. He drinks by the stream. He drinks of the stream by the wayside. Therefore he does not lift up the head. On to Proverbs 20 on page 747. Wine is a scoffer, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. The dread of a sovereign is like the roaring of a lion. Whoever provokes him sins against his own life. For a man to cease from strife is esteemed, but every fool bursts out. The lazy one does not plow after the autumn. At harvest time he inquires, there is none. Counsel in the heart of a man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it up. Most men proclaim each his own loving commitment, but who finds a trustworthy man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. The sovereign who sits on the throne of judgment is scattering all evil in his eyes. Who says, I have cleansed my heart, I am purged of my sin? Differing weights and differing measures, both are an abomination to Yahweh. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether his work is clear and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh had made them both. Do not sleep, lest you become poor. Do not love sleep, lest you become poor. Open your eyes, be satisfied with bread. Evil, evil, cries the buyer. But when he has gone his way, then he boasts. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious vessel. Take the garment of one who is a guarantor for a stranger, and hold it as a pledge when it is for foreigners. Bread gained by deceit might be sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth is filled with gravel. By counsel plans are established, and by wise guidance wage a battle. He who goes out as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with him who speaks smoothly with his lips. Whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp is put out in deep darkness. An inheritance obtained with greed at the beginning is not blessed at the end. Do not say, I pay evil. Wait for Yahweh, and he saves you. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a false scale is not good. The steps of a man are from Yahweh, but what does a man know about his own way? It is a snare for a man to say rashly. It is set apart, and only later to reconsider his vows. A wise sovereign widows out the wrong, and turns the wheel over them. The spirit of a man is the lamp of Yahweh, searching all his inmost parts. Loving commitment and truth watch over the sovereign, and he shall support his throne against the love. And he shall support his throne by loving commitment. The comeliness of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray hair. The blows that wound cleanse away evil, and stroke the inner parts of the heart. Moving over to the book of Acts, chapter 6, on page 1057. And in those days, when the taught ones were increasing, they arose a grumbling against the Hebrews by the Hellenists, because their widows were overlooked in the daily servings. So the 12 summoned the group of the taught ones, and said, It is not pleasing for us to leave the word of Elohim and serve tables. Therefore, brothers, seek out from among you 7 men who are known to be filled with the set-apart spirit and wisdom, whom we shall appoint for this duty. But we shall give ourselves continually to prayer and to serve the world. And the words pleased the entire group, and they chose Stephanus, a man filled with belief and a set-apart spirit, and Philip, and Prochorus, and Nicaram, and Timon, and Panam, and Nicholas, a convert from Antioch, whom they set before the emissaries. And when they had prayed, they laid hands on them. And the word of Elohim spread, and the number of the taught ones increased greatly in Jerusalem. And a great many of the priests were obedient to the belief. And Stephanus, filled with belief and power, did great wonders and signs among the people. But some of those of the so-called congregation of freedmen, Syrians, Alexandrians, and those of Kilian and Asia, rose up, disputing with Stephanus, but they were unable to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spoke. Then they instigated men to say, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moshe and Elohim." And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes, so they came upon him, seized him, and brought him to the council. And they set up false witness who said, This man does not cease to speak blasphemous words against the set apart place and the Torah. For we have heard him say this, Yeshua of Nazareth shall overthrow this place and change the institutes which Moshe delivered upon us. And all who sat in the council, looking steadfastly at him, saw his face was like the face of a heavenly messenger. It's the end of Acts chapter 6. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.